Evening, Mr. McLaughlin. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Doc. How about yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. How are things in Balmer tonight?
They're okay, but the long weekend completely confused me. I was getting ready to go to bed last night, and I stopped and thought, I got a show to do in less than 24 hours, and I don't have any notes made up. Ugh.
So you're having a Monday on a Tuesday then, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, then I
Well,
got up early, went to work. I was there 2 hours early, so I could leave 2 hour early.
and did that work out for you?
Oh yeah, because God, I can't get any overtime or comp time. They might break my wrist if I do that.
Well, what have you got for us this week, Dor?
Well, I wanted to really quickly in the beginning stick with the basic stuff.
Okay.
And one of the first things that becomes very apparent to any new user of Linux, and when I talk about new user experiences, it always comes from the Windows side because I can only speak about my own experiences. I've never used Mac OS. The biggest thing that confuses the new user is when they go to look for a C drive or a CD drive or a thumb drive connected to their computer, and they're looking for these drive letters.
Yeah, what the heck is a SDA anyway?
Well, I believe that's SCSI disk in A, B, C, D, E, F. It goes up like that. In the Windows world, you're basically limited to 26 drive letters, 26 connections, 26 mappings to devices or network shares. If you can do more, it's some kind of trick that I'm not aware of, so I'm just going to stick with that. In Linux, everything is in line, one seamless mass, if you will, of files. Instead of there being a C semicolon backslash at the beginning of everything, in Linux, it simply starts with a slash. That should be a
Okay,
forward.
a slash. Okay.
Okay, everything starts there. So if you have to go to the boot folder, it's slash boot. If you have to go to your home folder, it's slash home slash username. Everything begins with slash. Okay, now in Ubuntu, Debian, and a lot of popular Debian-based systems, whenever you mount a thumb drive, a CD, a floppy even, the system on its own dynamically creates a folder inside of slash media. Okay, because what in actuality, when you have to mount something, there's actually two parts that go into that equation. There's the hardware address and then the browsable location. In Windows, this basically does it for you silently in the background, so you only ever see the drive letter. If you boot into safe mode in Windows, you see a bunch of text go flying by the screen, and if you look really close, you can see to the leftmost HDA1 or SDA1, and that's the device address. That's where the device is recognizable to the kernel of the operating system.
Okay. Okay.
Same thing happens in Linux, only it's slash DEV for devices when it's really not devices. Everything in Linux is represented by a file or a folder and then files in the folder. And when I say everything, I mean even your sound card input is in that folder. Your video output is in that folder. They're all just basically hardware pointers. So in that folder, when you plug up a thumb drive in Debian Ubuntu Mint, it will recognize there's a new device present, and then it will automatically in your media folder create the appropriate folder name. If it's a floppy, it will then create a folder called media/floppy or floppy
Okay.
0.
Okay.
Sometimes it's floppy 0, I think. Same thing with CD-ROM. CD-ROM and sometimes CD-ROM 0. And that's how you browse to your files, which this means because everything starts from the root, to me, there's one less thing to worry about because I don't know about you, but sometimes I go up to Windows computer and I stick in a thumb drive and it says, this is your E drive. I take that drive out and then I put another thumb drive in and it says, this is your Z drive, or a different letter. So to automate certain tasks to those devices can be difficult if you don't really know what drive letter Windows is going to pick up. In the Linux world, it's the same. You put in a thumb drive and it's always going to be the same name in that media folder because it's based off the hardware itself. So even network shares. Now, network shares technically can be anywhere on the computer. And in fact, you can disable that auto mounting feature. Then you have to know a simple command, mount, and it's MOUNT space, that device path, space, where you want it to mount at. So you could have a folder on your desktop called thumb drive. Stick it in and then manually mount that thumb drive to that folder. So then you just open that folder and then you're on the root of the thumb drive.
Now, for the newbies in the crowd that are wondering what's all this talk about mount, why is it necessary to mount something that's already showing up in your directory listing, for lack of a better term?
Right.
Not directory listing, but it's showing up as part of your system.
Right. There's multiple stages to get to access files or folders or a CD-ROM. There's the hardware recognizing it and the operating system recognizing it, and then the operating system activating it. And sometimes you don't want it activated. Sometimes you want that thumb drive so it is not mounted, but it's still present. And here's why. If you go to format a thumb drive in Linux and it is mounted and browsable, when you go to format it, it will fail. In Windows, when you click on a drive and right click, what actually happens is Windows handles the dismount, format, and remount all on its own. I don't know of a Linux tool that does that right now, but I know that's what you as a user on the operating system most of the time have to do manually by hand.
We seem to be having a little video difficulty, but we're going to continue on with the audio here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Thor.
And when you're using Ubuntu, Debian, Mint, almost any of those flavors, I love how the default browser in the GNOME versions of most operating systems work. In fact, when you put the drive in, if a window does not pop up like Windows Autoplay, then you simply open up any file browser, and on the left-hand side, you'll see linking to your bookmarks or like your hot directories, things you're going to go to a lot, including the home folder, the documents folder, the download folder, and whatever drive you just connected to. And if you map a network drive, that will be there as well. So they really do try to make it easy. Super quick side note. A guy 4 months ago, I want to say, he was at a security conference. I can't remember which one it is. He demonstrated how GNOME's convenience of auto running a drive and opening it up the window so you can see all the files in it is actually technically exploitable. So I'm not going to be shocked if distros slowly wean users away from that auto mounting and auto opening of a drive. It's just one of those things. Technically, anything is exploitable, which is a question: how much work do you have? How much time do you have on your hands, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Steve C., prepare to edit here. Do you want us to stop until you get this straightened out?
Can you hear me, Doc?
Yes.
Let me try shutting it down and restarting it and see what happens. I totally didn't expect that. I'm going to stop messing around here. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Let me see if I could fix this real quick.
Okay.
Guys who are watching live, we're going to be gone for about, I don't know, a second or two. We'll be back.